Is it on?
Okay.
Okay, Israel, great. The subject we're going to talk today is about sex. All right?
Okay.
So just give me your name, your age, you're married, your occupation, what you're doing, and a little bit about yourself, and then just wait for me to answer the question. Right?
Okay, my name is Israel Abrams. I'm 63 years old.
And your occupation, you married?
I'm married and I'm a Christian missionary.
Wonderful. And what did you do in your past? You were a manager. You worked in a textile
industry. Okay, I worked in a textile company. I was a shift manager in a textile company.
Thank you. Thank you, Israel. Okay, I'm going to ask you the first question. Are you ashamed of sex?
No, it's ordained of God.
It's ordained of God.
It's ordained of God.
Are people today ashamed of it? It's ashamed to talk about sex?
Yeah, especially with our Indian culture. We never used to speak to sex with our children. You know, I can't say this for other cultures, but amongst ourselves, it wasn't spoken at home. It was taboo. You know, you couldn't touch on it.
With your parents?
With our parents.
Were they very strict about it?
Yeah, very strict about it.
Where did you learn about sex?
We didn't. Okay, when
was it just in marriage, or did you learn from your friends?
No. Yeah, I learned from our friends, and you know, and we used to go out a lot when we were younger then, but we didn't learn anything from the parents. What's the dangers of it or anything?
I think that's in all cultures very similar.
Yeah.
Do people talk about sex? Do you talk about it with your mates? Do people talk about sex?
Yeah, they do. They do. Everything today on TV, if they're advertising for toothpaste or shampoos or perfumes, everything is to do with sex. It seems like the more sex they talk about there, the more they sell the product.
Very true, I suppose. Is sex a natural human experience? Tell me why.
Yeah, it is ordained of God to propagate to increase the population.
Is that only not for pleasure?
Well, I can't say much. Yeah, but people today, it's for pleasure, you know.
It's sex all pleasurable?
About pleasure. But the only time we're supposed to have sex is that when we're creating a baby.
Is that true? Is that
true? But it doesn't happen today.
And now tell me something about yourself. Did you only have sex with your wife for creating a baby, not for pleasure?
No, it was both. Pleasure, yeah.
You think it should be for pleasure as well?
Yeah, that was bound the couple together. You know, you've got to be fulfill that.
Can you have? Is it okay to have sex just for pleasure and not for making babies? Even if you marry, is it okay?
Yeah,
would you say that's all right?
Yeah.
All right.
As long as it's your wife, so.
Yes. Okay. As long as it's your wife.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's so natural, and I'm going to ask this carefully too. If it's so natural and it's ordained by God, then why are we embarrassed about it?
We shouldn't be embarrassed about it.
Can you give me your reasons as why we are? Why do you think we are?
Because this was bind us together as men and women, as wife. We have a fulfillment. You know, when we are married, our bodies don't belong to us anymore. It's actually we should fulfill the desires of both husband and wife, because we become one flesh.
Now tell me. I know I asked this, but why are we ashamed? Why is people ashamed? If it's natural, why are we ashamed? What do you think the cause of it is?
No, nothing. Once you are married, and
are you ashamed?
No, I'm not. Okay, listen. I go into my bedroom in the night, and two months time, my wife is pregnant. You know what happened there? Something that happened that she got pregnant.
But are you ashamed?
No.
Are people ashamed to talk about it? Are people in general?
Well, I don't know much, because I haven't spoken to my kids about sex, because we were brought up like that. Amongst our friends, yeah.
Are they? Would you say some of them are ashamed of it?
No.
Easy to talk to, not scared of it.
No, nothing of that matter. But just that with family, you know, with our culture, it's totally different.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a bit of a close personal question. Have you ever watched a pornographic movie?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Do you get aroused by it?
Yeah, it does, because it's all lustful, you know.
If I would say, if it's natural, if you get aroused by it, if you watch a pornographic, would you say it's natural to get aroused by it?
It's natural. It's natural.
Is that okay? Next question: Have you ever had sex in public?
No.
Outside the bedroom?
No.
Have you ever caught your parents having sex?
No.
Religion, sex, and society. How is religion controlled sex. Give me a little bit of your Christian sort of idea of that.
You see, a husband and a wife, they must fulfill the desires of each other, because, you know, we are married, and God ordained sex, and that's what keeps us together. That's what binds us. You know, there's a lot to it, but we should enjoy it as a husband and wife. Yeah.
Do you think that society makes sex bad?
Yeah, like, you know,
I know a lot of times, and I'll just tell you that, I just want to bring this in, a lot of evil, sometimes the society, we get us an idea that sex is evil or bad. Is it society forcing those ideas on us? Or is it religion?
No, it's society. It's society.
Why do you think society?
You know, for years I've been working with prostitutes. I work personally with prostitutes.
Yes.
We used to go in. I worked with an American pastor friend of mine. And we used to go into our clubs here in West Street and Albany Street and wherever, and we used to approach them on the streets. You know, we loved them, and we tell them about the dangers, and they eventually knew us. You know, and when they used to avoid us after that. But because we loved them, we used to go tell them. You know, it's not good
to be a prostitute.
Yeah, to be a prostitute, because the circumstances, we don't condemn them. A lot of them got children to feed, and you know, and so the situation arises in that we actually take to them. You know, we used to invite them to church. We used to give them lunch on a Thursday, and you know, love them. I mean, it's sad. It's truly sad, because circumstances, if they had anything better, they wouldn't be there. I'm sure most of them don't like it there, because we work with them. They don't like what they do.
How should kids learn about sex? Should they learn it through their parents or on the TV or outside? Where should should you teach your kids about sex, or should they learn it by themselves? What is your opinion on that?
No, you don't have to be direct. If you're teaching your children today, I mean, sure, you can tell them, listen, you know, you educate them. You tell them, listen, you're 18 years old now, and why don't you wait, you know?
I'm talking about the mechanics.
Yeah, the mechanics of it.
Should we as parents teach our kids, or should we just leave them to be taught by?
Yeah, well, today with all the AIDS and STD and everything that's going around, I think the parents should, but in a very.
So you're uncomfortable with it?
Yeah,
you're uncomfortable.
Yeah,
your parents didn't teach you.
Yeah, you can tell them, but not very deep things. You know, just tell them.
Did you teach your kids?
No, I didn't.
You let them learn on their own.
You see, it wasn't in us, you know, to. Even when the schools were trying to teach sex, they came back. I mean, the parents hit out. They said, "Hey, listen, man, you."
It was a bit sensitive.
Yeah.
We kind of like they're ashamed about it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Is sex tied to love? Do you have to be in love to have sex, or it can just be lust?
It can be lust.
And that's natural?
Yeah.
Would you say that's natural? I mean, between husband and wife, or people...
No, I see married men picking up prostitutes on the road. I mean, there's something that's they're not getting at home.
Okay.
So that's why the wife has a duty to fulfill, and the husband.
Now tell me, is lust bad?
It is.
It's bad. Even when you're married?
Yeah, it is.
It is bad. So it can only be for love.
Yeah, you're love, you know. Let me tell you a story about the Roman Empire. Was one of the most powerful nations on earth. It was the most powerful army. You touch one Roman soldier, you got the whole army coming for you. But what dropped them was pornography and sexual lust that dropped the Roman Empire to his knees. That's why God said, "Thou shalt not commit adultery." The reason being is, it affects your spirit man. Because when you have sex with a prostitute, you become one with the prostitute. Believe me, if you don't, you can read your Bible. So that's the danger of it. Like today we got STD, we got HIV, and those days we had different types of diseases. You know, we used to call it 8 legs, we used to call it the Vendel disease. So it's very, very dangerous. It's very dangerous. I myself went to do my AIDS test. I was afraid. I mean, at this age here, I thought, Lord, and you know, it's a frightening thing to go and check yourself out, but I did it. They encourage us, hey, go man, go do your AIDS test and see.
When you were younger, did you have sex before marriage?
Yeah, I did.
And I mean, this is the pressures of it. We all, I also had it. I understand it. Was it wrong or was it right?
We didn't know the difference.
We didn't know the difference. So, you know, you can't class it as wrong or right.
Yeah, we can't.
I want to just, one more thing I want to just ask you. Is there anything else you'd like to add on the subject of sex for the viewers? Any of your advice, you know, on that subject that you could offer to the
viewers? I don't know, but I can't say much because we all build differently, you know.
Look, in general, in terms of yourself, what have you learned about sex in terms, not sex mechanics of sex, I'm just talking about in terms of the values of sex and what people should do before they have sex, you know, should they be married, you know, just your opinions on sex.
Okay, when we were younger, we didn't know the difference because as I told you earlier that our culture never allowed us for the parents to teach the kids about sex or the dangers or whatever. So we just did it. I mean, you know, at that very early age, it was just drugs and alcohol, and you're just living your life, you know, you don't even care what happened. So this is what the pressure was then. But now that we have grown and be an adults, we matured in many ways. And I think it should happen through marriage only. And one man, one wife, you know. And well, you can see many things that have happened. Many things. Because what happens is the husband doesn't get something in bed, no matter who he is. Or what's he standing in religious, he goes out to find something else.
Well, I think that's just the pressures obviously of society. And, you know, there's a lot. Today it's very difficult, I suppose, for people to actually live a
although, you know, like I said, I should have said this earlier actually. That when I came out of Hinduism to Christianity, we had to break that marriage vow. We actually got divorced. So we not only broke that Hindu marriage vows, we broke all other vows that had an attachment to Hinduism. We had to renounce those spirits. And then we took the Christian vow, you know. Although it's not there, it's better or for worse, at sickness and in health. We take that vows and we should keep that vows. It's there not to be broken. But with today, you know, the pressures of life and the divorce rate is so high, and yeah, this is it.
If you could go back, and I know this is a bit of, we're out of time now. Thank you for that. If you could go back to when you were 20, would you change a lot of what happened to you in your life?
Yeah, I would.
There's nothing that we can. A lot of things that you did.
Yeah, we can't do anything about the past. We can't do something about the future, you know. So forgetting those things which are behind and pressing forward for the mark, looking ahead now, leaving those things behind. Maybe you don't understand this, but the enemy always brings your weaknesses. You always try to point out who you are, but you're not that anymore. The old things have passed away. Behold, all things become new. All things become new.
Thank you, Israel. Thank you for the honest and open interview. Why don't you just hit the red button and we're finished. And that's it.